When you create a YouTube channel, do you think who exactly will watch it? If you haven't asked yourself who will watch it, then it'll be very difficult for you to develop your channel without a clear idea of who your target audience is. And in this video, we're going to talk about this in detail. This is Nader from Prodvigate, and here on this channel, we talk about how to make considerable progress on YouTube today. So, who the target audience is? The target audience is a group of people who are very interested in your content, your product, or even your character. It's your content that meets their needs, whether it's the need to figure out how to repair something at home or the need, of entertainment. It doesn't really matter what content it actually is. Your target audience is watching you precisely because you provide something valuable to them. When we launch a channel and write out a content plan, we partially imagine who are the people that are we making content for. Men or women, children or adults, doctors or engineers. It all depends on our goal and our ability to, completely dive deeper into making relevant content. If you don't know who are you making content for, then this may get you a small number of views or subscribers, and it may lead to the failure of your channel. Or, maybe you can pay top dollar to promote your channel as well, and you don't want that. You also need to understand what kind of people are watching you. What are they by nature? Maybe your audience is enthusiastic tech heads, or maybe it's creatives that'll watch you because you explain how to write scripts and make movies. In both cases, let's say these are men from 18 to 25, but you will not be able to interest techies when you make videos about filmmaking, for example. So you need to clearly understand what kind of people are watching you. This is called creating a portrait of your target audience, but more on that later. Your deep understanding of the audience is highly required to develop faster on YouTube. Before we get to the details, let's understand why we need to do that. First, it's necessary to know your target audience in order to bypass competitors. If you understand what people want from the channel in your niche and analyze what they like and dislike, then you have an excellent chance to bypass even the biggest channels. And also to reduce costs. The launch of advertising for any YouTuber is an exciting and unreliable moment of channel management, so you need to prepare for it beforehand. One of the most important factors of proper targeting is the clear understanding of your audience. To get to know the customer base better if you are selling something. Who will buy your product? What's their average age? And so on. So to keep growing. Making videos has no ultimate goal. We're always in the process of development and we cannot stop at any time. Whoever understands this will have lots and lots of subscribers. And let's get to the types of target audience. In modern marketing, there are several types of target audience. We'll now analyze those groups that are distinguished in marketing in relation to sales and try to reflect this on YouTube. Well, the first is basic and indirect. The one who makes a purchase decision and the initiator of the action as opposed to the indirect one. If we reflect this on YouTube, where our product is our content, then the indirect audience are the one who watch without subscribing and aren't really active on the channel, and the direct one subscribe and give likes and comments for sure. Our task as YouTubers is to attract as much of the main audience as possible. Wide and narrow target audience. Well, a wide audience watches and subscribes to channels, for example, channels that create language teaching tutorials. And a narrow audience only watching videos that explain how to learn vocabulary in particular. The audience that depends on the type of target group. Here it'll be more difficult. In the context of marketing, this term sounds like a target audience in the field of business, B2B, and in the field of individual consumption, B2C, meaning that our audience can be divided into people who come to the channel privately as well as channels for businesses or companies that are useful for your content. Audience for the purpose of visiting the site. In our case, it's not the site, but the channel. There are two goals here: buying and searching for information, and this is the target audience interested in the channel's content. Well, viewing come from information for sure, and subscribers who are interested in goods and services for purchases. This is relevant to those who make content and simultaneously sell something else related to this content. How to create a portrait of your target audience. The target audience can be divided into segments, or it can be divided into individuals. For a clear study of the content, you need to be able to make a portrait of both a segment and a specific subscriber. That's what I mean. A segment is a group of people that fits into the description of your channel and determined mainly by general socio-demographic factors like gender, age, education, income, social status, profession, nationality or race, and geography. These parameters will help you create a portrait of a group of people who may be interested in your content as a whole. And when you create such an audience description for your channel, this is a very big step towards your growth. But you can focus on an even more accurate portrait of your channel or your target audience. For this purpose, there is such a thing as psychographic characteristics. And they no longer describe a segment or a group of people, but a specific person whom you see in your subscribers. And to create such a description, you will need the following items. First, description of character traits: conservative, ambitious, cheerful, innovator, and so on. Values: life, positions, and attitudes to important social problems, like opinion on the environment, globalization, politics, the standard of living, and the population. Personal hobbies: lifestyle, behavior, easygoing or very difficult to deal with. What are their goals? However, this issue needs to be seen through your content. If you talk about renovation, for example, then the goal is to know how to build a house from scratch, or how to make repairs in your apartment, or simply choose a wallpaper properly. What prevents them from achieving these goals? The lack of time or contact with good engineers, or maybe they have little money for that. How can we help this person achieve his goals? We give him, the contacts, of engineers, or describe how to correctly identify a good designer, or teach them how to decorate their houses on their own. Where and when do people watch your channel? At that point in life and under what circumstances? The easiest way is to start with a narrow audience and then slowly expand it. Basically, when your target audience will trust you. New viewers will come to your channels and look at the activity in the comments, and this will motivate them to subscribe to your channel. Even your communication style with people on the channel depends on how well you describe your subscriber. If you're looking for another feature of your channel and don't understand how to search for it, then a portrait of subscribers or audience can help you with this. Imagine that you're telling people very complex things about chemical reactions, for example, but you understand that your target audience is school children. And among them, there are both excellent students and poor students, those who don't like to study. If the information is important for the first type of audience, well, it's equally important for the second type. And this means that it's presented in an interesting way and the child doesn't get bored. And a lot of creative ideas can come out from this point, like you should explain chemistry through cartoons, or, for example, tell everything in the language of TikTok, or maybe insert some relevant names into the explanation, because learning for children who do not want to, learn feels like torture, right? And your task is more like how to make learning very interesting and fun. But this will happen when you perfectly understand who your viewer is, what kind of person he is, and what he does or what he doesn't. Well, the last thing left for us to master is the tools for determining the target audience. Luckily, we have tools that will help us determine it, and those tools are based on analytics and what kind of portrait you have drawn up for yourself, and will be able to clearly understand what content to make, what moves to use, what jokes to tell in the video, and yeah, what kind of audience to attract in advertising campaign. Okay, now let's get to the tools for finding and selecting the target audience. First of all, we have YouTube Analytics, and there's a whole audience tab that'll tell you what days of the week and time your audience is most active at. What will help you choose the right time and day to upload videos. Also, with the right approach, you can find out that your audience, for example, is office workers because their activity peaks during the lunch breaks and the time after 6 p.m., for example. And also from there, you can find out how many subscribers click on the bell or subscribe to your channel and how many watch without a subscription, for example. This will tell you how much they trust you and how much turnover you have. And also, one more cool tool is when you can watch which videos your viewers are watching at the moment, which will not only give you new ideas, but also make it clear what else your audience is interested in and what kind of people they are. Well, the standard age and gender can also be found there. And it turns out that the most important tool for compiling a segmented socio-demographic portrait of your target audience is already at your fingertips for free and in full access. However, many people are interested in a more detailed portrait, and it can be obtained only in the following ways. The first, the message of the video. You can ask people a question about what excites them, and based on their answers, it'll already be possible for you to draw conclusions about what kind of people they are and what kind of people are watching you. In general, a direct dialogue with the subscriber is the right way to build the most targeted content. The second one is Google Analytics. Search engines track the whole process request path and will let you know and understand what people are worried about, what questions they have, how much they are passionate about your topic, and whether you're putting them in the right mood or not. The second one is studying your competitors. On channels on related topics, you'll definitely find your audience and will be able to determine what kind of people they are and what they want by their comments and activities. The second one is thematic blogs and forums, communities in social networks that are generally cool to dig around, and because they're the most lively dialogues between users. Also, Instagram can give you a lot of answers to questions about the audience on your topic, and at the same time, you can talk to them, and ask them questions about what they're worried about. So let's summarize. We need a portrait of the target audience in order to make high-quality content and get into the audience's requests. Try to get to your subscribers and attract those who'll be interested in your channel and your topics. The types of target audience help us focus on what goals we're pursuing: to sell, show, teach, perform, and so on. There is a socio-demographic portrait of the target audience, which will give us an idea of a larger segment of people who will be interested in our content. And there's also a psychographic portrait of the target audience, which will show us a specific subscriber and his motivation and desires, which will help us make our content even more useful. Any high-quality hit in the audience's requests increases our chances of the correct ranking of our content by YouTube, which means good organic growth without unnecessary costs. Also, a competent portrait of the target audience will help us launch the most targeted advertising and not waste the advertising budget. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, don't forget to click on the like button and click on the bell as well so you don't miss out on our future videos. Thank you all and see you next time.